Welcome to Hardaway, aka the three-man Jalen Weave, aka the best big three since LeBron D Wade and Bosh, as my Twitter still open up. Live on YouTube on Labor Day. We know everybody off work, so y'all should be pulling up to the crib in a minute to watch Hardaway. So we appreciate it. If y'all like the stream, leave a comment, join the live stream, and subscribe. We gained 13 subscribers in 1 week, gentlemen. 13. We'll take that. We at 138 right now.
Let's try to get one of y'all trolling us saying some dumb shit.
Right.
That's how pissing off the Grizz fans.
Man, look, they mad at Chris Vernon today. Apparently, he said something about Deion Sanders a couple days ago, and they on his ass. So hey, leave us alone. But yeah, man. Again, subscribe to the channel. We on the way to that 200. We closer than when we were last episode. So let's keep it pushing, man. If you don't know who I am the walking bucket providing instant offense. It's your boy Savage. Up here, we got the coach on the sidelines. Take them school on and off the court. And when I say it's really shitty, it's really shitty. Shitty was good.
Man, what did you just do? It sounded like your voice just elevated. Like
I don't know,
from like Jesus to God in 1 moment. Like
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say hi at this point, sir. God bless.
I don't know. I'd fix the audio if it's messing up. But we also got your favorite DJ, Sample Man himself, Mr. Ted Shakir, too. What's good?
What's good, gentlemen? What's good? Happy to be here for another episode. You went from Jesus to God and anointed. He gave praises to the Most High like it's still Sunday, man. I feel it.
Yes, sir. Anointed.
Candy is here. Candy, we a little bit late, Candy. I'm sorry. We like
nah, ain't nobody late, man. It's early.
It's a 10.
You better be happy we here, goddammit.
Yeah, man. What's up, Candy? What's up, Tyler?
Tyler, what up, man?
Tyler.
Y'all pulling up, man. She said he got trivia today, so I'm gonna step out the way and let Sheedy handle NBA trivia as we start the show off.
Yes, man. And I hope we get this. I'll give some clues if necessary. But I think we can rattle off a good amount of this list. I know there's a list, yes. Who are the top 5 European scorers in NBA history?
I saw this yesterday.
Okay, Dirk.
Easy.
European.
Let me see. Giannis went in and he ain't crack it yet.
Who'd you say?
No, Giannis is in it. Giannis top 4.
Giannis is it, yeah.
I'm trying to remember from yesterday. Damn it, I literally just saw this video.
Asia? Who'd you say?
Asia?
Peja? Stojakovic? No, sir.
Pau Gasol.
Pau Gasol,
Yeah, my bad. Mark?
No.
He
was like number 10.
Okay.
Tony Parker.
Yep.
Damn. And then it was some guy I can't even try to pronounce. I ain't gonna lie. He played for the Nuggets.
The Nuggets.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't play. No, I don't know if he played for the Nuggets. I would say the most important times that he played was with the Seattle Supersonics.
Oh, Deadlift Shrimp?
Boom.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Night for Deadlift Shrimp. I used to play with the Sonics on like some game on Nintendo, so I know about Deadlift Shrimp. So I respect it. Respect it. Look at
who's the best left hand player you ever played with in 2K? Because you played with damn near every lefty, and I'm pretty sure you started all of them.
Left-handed player that I played with.
Yeah, I know it's random, but
I didn't play with the Spurs.
Every left-handed player we've ever brought up, you like, yeah, I played with him on 2K. So it's like,
you gotta have a favorite.
Man, you gotta have a favorite. Let me see. I used to like playing with Michael Beasley when he was with the Timberwolves.
Walking bucket.
Miami Heat. Let's see. Of course, Lamar Odom. Odom, Derek Fisher. Nobody else come to mind. I would say primarily Michael Beasley, because when we had those 2K leagues in college, I used to give Michael Beasley as like a power forward. So I say Michael Beasley.
I feel
that.
So, all right, man. So we had an interesting day with Team USA losing to Lithuania. Speaking of European players, Jonas Valanciunas was giving his old teammate Jaren Jackson Jr. that work. Could not be stopped. On top of that, Lithuania had snipers all over the damn court, And I mean, we're finding out, well, this young team is finding out, I should say, they learned that European or FIBA basketball is a little bit different than isolation NBA ball. So likewise, there was an uproar on not even just Grizz Twitter, but Twitter in general, because Team USA, for the most part, doesn't lose, even though they've lost before in years past. Of course, not with like Kobe and Melo and all them when they were all together, but the team is a B or C level team, depending on who you ask, but they still, in my opinion, should have swept through FIBA, but they did not. And so people were going out and blaming, Ant-Man because Ant-Man shooting too much, Jaren because Jaren don't get a rebound, Steve Kerr because Steve Kerr don't want to put two bigs on the court. What are y'all thoughts on the loss, and who are y'all putting, the blame on as far as Team USA losing, and can they come back and still win?
But
see you going? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was fine. I was trying to think of like how to answer how you gave like 3 questions. That's why I was like, wait, okay, how do I answer?
Come on, teacher, man. Get me on your game, man. Catch it.
First and foremost, this is again, let's just be clear. The FIBA is the JV. There is no Devin Booker out there. There is no Wardell. There is no KD. There are no other players that should or could be out there, right? But we never send those players out at this time. This is not. Let's also back up. No one said that this was like the Redeem team. No one said this was the second coming of them. No one said this is the second coming of the fourth coming of the Dream Team. No one said that when this team was assembled. Even when this team was assembled, there were question marks across who should start, who should do this, who should do that. There was always questions since the day this team has been put together. So with that being said, they're bound to lose something. They should pull it back together. Yes. Can they? Yes. Will they is the question. And how much will do they have to actually win games and go the extra effort when necessary? I saw a tweet talking about Grant Hill saying, no one is afraid of America no more, right? No one's afraid of USA. And, Noah Lyles was probably laughing, ha ha ha, look the way they won, blah, blah, blah. And at the end of the day, if this was like a 7-game series, I don't think Lithuania wins that. It's me personally. I just really think you caught a team that wasn't truly prepared and they lost. Simple as that. And I think they jumped out to a heavy lead in the beginning, if I'm correct. And then to lose by 6, I mean, it doesn't matter. A loss is a loss, but this team wasn't ready to play Lithuania. And you would hope that Jaren Jackson Jr. played a little bit better against JV for all the times that they've had practice together and all that, but JV is still JV. And Jaren Jackson Jr. is still Jaren Jackson Jr. No fault on anybody about this except for the coach, leadership, and heart. Who out there had heart? I mean, Anthony Edwards went out and shot the lights out. Well, not in a good way, but like put up a lot of shots. But after him, someone had like maybe 14 points. Mikal Bridges had 14 points, and someone else maybe had 14 points. And after that, it just looked terrible. And so to me, little niggas got to play with some heart. You know what I'm saying? They're missing some heart. So somebody had to find their heart. Somebody need to take them on the Wizard of Oz tour and figure it all out.
Yeah, I think you said you hit the hammer on the head right when you said effort. Like, I think that's literally the key word in this whole conversation. And what I mean by that is, of course, he called this episode early. Them playing is super, super early, so I didn't get a chance to watch this specific game. But you can tell that I think Team USA really didn't account for Lithuania, who did come into this game undefeated, and they still undefeated. They didn't take them serious, and you can literally tell by literally just looking at the stat sheet. I mean, you brought up Ant-Man, who we talked about him last week and how I think he can win MVP next season. He took 26 shots. I know. I think that shouldn't be overlooked because, again, when you're on a team full of young stars in the NBA, you got literally one player that's taking more than 20 shots. I think that's an issue, not on the team, but really with Ant-Man himself, because you do got to look for other people at some point. You do need to shut the ball at some point. Like taking 26 shots in what you just said in an all-star JV game is crazy. Especially when nobody else can find their rhythm. Of course, rebounding was definitely an effort, a lack of effort, I should say. The only player with more than 5 rebounds was Bobby Portis Jr., and he's been playing like one of the best big men, on this team, if not arguably the best. Shout out to Tripp, who is still doing his thing, growing offensively, but he kind of resorted back to what we as Grizz fans know Tripp can do. He's gonna get you 6 rebounds this game. He may get you 8 this one, and he's gonna give you 1 in the next one. That's just how it is. And is this something that we want from our big? Absolutely not. We all came into this, Team USA thinking, damn, who's going to be our big man? Okay, cool. We got Jaren Jackson. We got Walker Texas Ranger. We got Bobby Portis. Now how are we going to get them together? And we saw literally yesterday, we may have to tinker a little bit because the bigs ain't going to do nothing but get better as FIBA goes on. And if it's already a weakness right now, it's going to be a weakness next week. So I think it may. I know I said we may have to think a little bit, but it may kind of be too late because we already got the chemistry going. We already got the chemistry going with Jalen Brunson running point, which from day one I said I love me some Brunson, but he should be coming off the bench because that's that spark plug. You got Tyrese Halliburton, who literally was top 2, top 3 in assists last year, and he should be coming and heading the team. He should be making sure everybody's comfortable. If Tyrese Hurton's not starting. If Tyrese Halliburton is starting, Anthony Edwards ain't shooting no 26 shots. He not shooting no 13 threes. So I think just in the flow of the games, you do need that flow man. You do need that glue guy in the point guard, and that is Tyrese Halliburton. And even though him and Jalen Brunson has 7 assists, just imagine how many more assists Tyrese Halliburton can have. So that's that. One thing that we definitely gonna have a pay attention to, and that I'm really appreciating this conversation with, is because I actually called Steve Kerr out on Twitter. Y'all know I love me some Steve Kerr. I love me some Golden State Warriors, but I'm gonna be objective. Steve Kerr, you're gonna have to figure out some kind of way to get the bigs going and some kind of rotation thing. See, even though I don't want to say. Coach K, for example, Coach K was able to come in Team USA and be able to be a leader in the locker room, not because of who he's played with or who he's played around, but literally being able to use those different kind of players for the last 20, 25 years, those different mindset, those different programs that these kids have come from, and utilize those and make them national champions. Speaking of which, we got to have a conversation about the word champion too, a world champion. But he was able to take that knowledge and come into Team USA and, become a player's coach. Steve Kerr, literally, from what we've seen in the last 10 years, is one way. Get Steph Curry the ball, get the hell out the way. This team is lacking a Steph Curry. It could have been Jalen Brunson, but he's no Steph Curry. Do we have a Klay Thompson on the team? Nah, but we see Ant-Man trying to take his place, in Team USA things. So the last point I want to make is that the big situation, you're going to have to figure out, because if this is going to be our coach for next year in the Olympics, I'm worried. I'm not going to even lie, because you're talking about a Warriors fan who's seen JaVale McGee be our best big man. I've seen a coach who literally traded James Wiseman, who I'm still very high on. I'm telling y'all now, I'm very high on. He traded them away, and we drafted them 2 years ago as a number 2 pick because you didn't know how to use them. If we're going to come into Olympic basketball, well, literally every team that's coming for our head got a big man: Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, I ain't gonna say Gobert, but see, he may come for our head. All these bigs are coming for our head, and if they see Jaren Jackson Jr. with 1 rebound, that's gonna be an issue, and I think that we gonna be hurt. So, hey, Sheedy, get your boy Coach Spo. We need to start that. Hey, we need Spo coaching rather than Steve Kerr coaching for Team USA, because I think, again, we may be in trouble. I know, this may be a microwave society topic for me because we did take an L yesterday or a couple of days ago, but I'm just calling a spade a spade. We're going to lose against the bigs, and damn it, when the competition get highs, our biggest weakness is literally going to be our biggest weakness, and it's going to be our downfall.
I took a nap in the midst of everybody going ham. I mean, I did see it for a split second, and I was tweeting out that, I tweeted out last week that I don't like people, evaluating somebody's NBA talent based on their FIBA performance. FIBA is a different ball game. We're utilizing big man in FIBA. The big man is irrelevant in the NBA for the most part, unless you Embiid, unless you Jokic. Like it's an irrelevant position for the most part. But with that being said, it's the responsibility of Team USA, of Steve Kerr, of those who make the team to prepare the team in such a way that you are scouting against these teams. Because, like, I mean, JV is an average big man in the NBA, but he's a pretty damn good big man for FIBA. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to prepare for that accordingly. And I think that with FIBA, the way that FIBA is currently constructed, USA does not care about FIBA, so they didn't really put too much effort into building a roster that can compete for the Olympic purposes. Once the Olympic comes, I don't know if you know or not, too, they actually are trying to get Embiid to play for Team USA. He's trying to get his I guess the naturalization thing to play for Team USA.
Okay, I did know that.
I will buy some of that. I will buy some of that.
We need to be praying. We just got about already on this time. Shout out to God. We need to be praying right now.
And it's crazy you just brought that up because isn't Joel Embiid like back-to-back scoring champion, and he just dropped. You know what I'm saying? MVP. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going. I'm sorry.
So even if you don't get Embiid, you still got Bam. Bam Adebayo is going to be there beside Jaren Jackson, and Bam can get some damn rebounds. So I think as far as the Olympics, Team USA will be okay. I mean, you're going to bring your 18 for the Olympics. I mean, I don't know if KD or whoever else, Devin Booker, Tatum, go on play. I think we'll be okay in that regard. But we are currently in FIBA, and that's what matters right now.
Right.
And so what does Steve Kerr need to do? I tweeted it from through the Hardaway with the little meme video of like, you can play too big, Steve Kerr, and be okay. We, like, as Grizzlies fans, and I mean, if you're a fan of the NBA, you know Jaren ain't gonna rebound. Not to the extent of what you want somebody his size to do. He's not gonna get you 10 rebounds. That's not what he is. It's not who he is. And I've said this, and it's to his detriment to some extent. Jaren is hunting for blocks. He's not hunting for rebounds. And when you're hunting for blocks, you're not getting the rebound. Yeah, you're getting. He fouled out this game, so you get in foul trouble. You're not going to get those rebounds. That's why Steven Adams is so valuable to the Grizzlies. That's why Jonas Valanciunas is so valuable to the Grizzlies, because they're going to get those rebounds. Jaren's not going to do that. And so when you're playing the lineup with Jaren at the 5 and you've got whoever at the 4, you're going to be undersized compared to these grown-ass, strong-ass Lithuanian men, these European guys. They strong as hell, bro. Like, Jaren, he big, but he ain't just super-duper strong. And so, obviously, you're getting more rebounds from a Josh Hart, from Anthony Edwards, from, Ingram, or whoever's going to be getting those long rebounds. So, if you want to win, Steve Kerr, this is not me criticizing him. It's me still trying to help him. If you want to win, and they probably still will win because they just have more talent than everybody else. I'm curious to see them play Canada. But if you want to win, you're going to have to adjust. And I think he will. He adjusted by moving Ingram out of the starting lineup and then putting in Josh Hart. Of course, Josh Hart didn't play as much this last game, but I think he's going to understand at some point, like, okay, hey, Jaren, maybe don't go for as many blocks. He didn't have a block at all last game. He had, one rebound, I think? 1-2 rebounds? I can't remember how many he had. It wasn't like 5. Wow. I know that much.
No, the 5 was for the fouls.
Right. He had 5 fouls, not 5 rebounds. But for it to happen, and if you want to win, you're going to have to lean into your players' strengths. Steve Kerr is a top 10 coach all time? Absolutely. Jaren is a great all-star caliber player. Absolutely. Brunson is a great all-star caliber player. Absolutely. But you have to figure out a way to mesh the talent together for the purposes of winning. That's what you got to do if you Steve Kerr, and I think he will.
Fair. Good points. Good points.
You got some comments in here. Go ahead, Toot.
No, I got definitely before we move on. Second tallest score. Thought it was
6. It's hard not height.
Speaking of which, like I do have 2 things I want to talk about before we move on. Just briefly, one thing. Going forward, what would y'all starting lineup be for Team USA? And of course, y'all got to look it up. So I go ahead and give mine. I think going forward, the right starting lineup for us to win gold, because I still think this team can win gold. I think we are still good for this year. So I would start again Tyrese Halliburton, something I've been wanting since day one. I would do Anthony Edwards at shooting guard. I would do Mikal Bridges at small forward. I do Jaren Jackson at power forward, and I would do Bobby Portis at center.
That's my exact round.
Exactly. Because, like, come on, man. Like, Bobby Portis is that energy. He literally could start over Brook Lopez on a Bucks team that won a championship a few years ago. Like, he gets the rebounds. He knows his knowledge of the game is there. Like, literally everything you just said with Jaren Jackson about being a block chaser. Be a block chaser. Cool. But let's give him some more room and energy, because even your boy Josh Hart, rebounding king, shooting guards. He had 2 of them last game. He shouldn't be starting either. Like, come on, man.
What we're saying is we need to start 2 bigs, and and Halliburton. Yeah. I think Brunson coming off the bench to the point is more of the fire starter. Like, we need some points, we need to score. That's great. Like that's him to the T. Like he was with the Mavericks, right? Before he left. And then I agree with the whole starting 5 that you just said, but that does allow Jaren Jackson Jr. to play with the way he needs to play. Bobby Portis is unsung, man. I don't even really know how much to really say. He's underpaid, undervalued for all the things that he does. He might not be the best rebounder, best shot blocker, best 3-point shooter, best center, but it doesn't even matter. But he does everything with effort, and that's what they're missing. So if they can see that engine going from the start, from the tip, and see those eyes getting real big and shit, like I think that will just carry over and give them the momentum that they really need, because they don't really have it. Besides, Ant, that's really their energy guy. Besides that, and I just don't see it. And I think Brunson is a what you call Trae Young?
Pass first ball hog.
Yes. and Brunson's entering into that category.
Yes, ever since.
Yeah, he's still in that category to me.
As somebody who likes Brunson, I can see that. There's a lot of pass first ball hogs in the league. Basically, a pass first ball hog is basically your undersized scorer. If you like 6'2", 6'1", and you trying to get 30 points, you a pass first ball hog. Because like, bro, what you doing? You short. Why you shooting it? You ain't AI. Pass the damn ball. But real quick about Ant-Man, and look, man, this ain't the Timberwolves, man. You got to pass that rock, man. You had 35 points. Now, granted, we probably wouldn't be in the game without Anthony Edwards. That's for sure. And it's not his fault to coach the team. But it is on him to at least provide some leadership, because he is the alpha dog of the team. Like, you are that guy on the team. So I don't know if he need to like fight somebody. He ain't gonna fight nobody, but like, or punch somebody in the chest. Like, hey, what we doing, man? Because like, looking at the rebounding alone, 27-43. You got out rebounded by 16 rebounds. Rebounding is effort, ladies and gentlemen. That's hard. That's effort. If you're not getting rebound, I don't know how many offensive rebounds they had. Let me see. Lithuania.
I think if Lithuania could do that.
Offensive rebounds for Lithuania.
18 offensive?
18 offensive rebounds. 18.
The second chase points.
Yep. Second chance points, I don't have them listed, but 18. I mean, you had 18 opportunities to try again. That's crazy.
Man, that Uncle LeVar was right selling LaMelo overseas. So Lithuania, he saw something right. And look, LaMelo post on IG. Hey, listen, homie, I played with a couple weeks ago with ass.
He's like, hold on, bro, that's my teammate.
He didn't even know his name. That's old boy. Hey, are y'all that old
boy? And that's fucked up, man. You know your own team.
Yeah, you don't know your own team. He probably know how to spell his name, nothing like that. That's an old boy. You gonna call him old boy? Hey, speaking of old boy, why y'all do old boy like that on Twitter, man? Because he was right.
Noah Lyles.
Yeah, man, dude was right from day one, and not everybody hopping on this bandwagon because Lithuania with the ass. Boy, they love you, they hate you the next day. They love you again.
I think it's because his enthusiasm. He was so extra with it that people just kind of took it and ran with it. I understand what he's saying, but nobody care about FIBA. Nobody. It's basketball, man. We care about the NBA. Nobody care about FIBA, bro.
Like, I'll make this quick reference, and we keep going. Lithuania's team won't change when it comes to the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
America's team will change.
They may get LaMelo.
LaMelo.
Oh boy, you hooping like this? Hey, you beat him. Bet. Look, rebranding. He's all over Lithuania next year.
Oh my God, no.
Bobby Portis ain't scared to fight a European either. Punch that guy on the Bulls. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. He did. I forgot about that. Where is Nicole Harrison dead, man? He was hooping. He was hooping for the Bulls. I remember him.
Now, that man, she talking about he looking like a deer in headlights, literally.
For the walking. That might be on some type of crack, bro. I don't know what it is, but like, man,
like the Ultimate Warrior,
bro. The face paint and everything, bro.
Ready.
Oh man. All right. So this is the name of the episode, y'all. Top 10 small forwards.
Oh, that's what we're here for. Okay.
That's what we're here for, man. 30 minutes to the podcast. That's what we're here for, man. The top 10 small forwards. I will say that we did have in our group chat earlier this week that next year, because we're gonna be back here next year. Sorry for those who think we're low rated, low budget, and all that. We will be back next year, and we're probably gonna do more than likely a 1 through 50 ranking of the top 50 NBA players because of the what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the ambiguity of like players in their position.
Vocab.
Vocab was savage. Ambiguity. Y'all know what I mean. But yeah, we probably do 1 through 50 next year, and that might even make even more interesting discussions because certain players can be better than certain players or not, depending on how we have them ranked. So, but for now, we in the present tense, and we are going into top 10 small forwards. I'm up first this week, so I will get into my honorable mention if I get my phone open right now. All right, so for honorable mention, this guy, he's a young player, made the playoffs for the team. I got Keegan Murray as an honorable mention. I love that he is a sniper. I like that he's going to be able to grow with the Sacramento Kings. You got De'Aaron Fox there, of course. You got Sabonis there, but Keegan Murray was a sniper for the Sacramento Kings all year. Didn't get to play as much in the playoffs. Obviously, you're a young player, and you're going to want to play your veteran players a little bit more. Harrison Barnes should not have been playing, as we saw in that series. But I like Keegan Murray. I like that he knows his role. He identifies it. I think for him, where I want to see growth in his game is I want to see him be a two-way player. I want to see him be able to defend on defense while also being in the corner and on the wing on offense and knock down the open three. He has the opportunity to be like a taller version of Klay Thompson because the man can shoot. Like, he can knock it down. But in order for him to kind of get more recognition, I think, or even like Michael Porter Jr., like he can be a rebounder. Like, you don't have to do a off the dribble kind of person, but I want to see you add more to your game. He's just a second-year player, if I'm not mistaken. So he has time to do it. He has the size, he has the ability, he has the mindset. You got great coaching in Mike Brown. So Keegan Murray has a big chance to step up this year into a top 10 role, maybe even next year. So I had him as my honorable mention. Getting into my 10 through 6 at number 10, I was kind of disappointed in this player last year. I expected him to kind of play more, but his team was trash, so it makes sense. But Scotty Barnes, where I got him, number 10. Great young player, great two-way player. They compare him to Scottie Pippen. I can kind of see it a little bit, but this team is going through a huge transition. They might lose Pascal. They probably will lose Pascal Siakam at some point, so that might open up the floor for Scotty Barnes a little bit more. But he had a significant slump last year, so I was kind of disappointed. But I'm not saying he's trash. I'm not saying I'm selling stock on him. But I am saying that the player number 9, in my opinion, is better than him. And number 9, this is where I got Franz Wagner. I think Franz Wagner is going to be a huge player. He's been playing well for Germany in the FIBA. Germany is a good team, y'all. I didn't mention them yet. Germany is out here hooping. That team scared me more than Canada, in my opinion.
I'm so sick. I'm sorry. Keep going.
Go ahead.
No, because I'm so sick of Dennis Schroeder every season going the fuck off for Germany.
But being trash in the NBA.
And so does that not show y'all? Does that not show everybody? Okay, I'm done.
But that's where I got Franz Wagner, man. I like Franz with Paolo. I think they're going to be a great dynamic duo. Of course, Paolo's a power forward, not small forward, so we're not mentioning him here. But yeah, Franz Wagner was slept on by a lot of NBA teams. He was dropped in like the bottom of the lottery for the Magic. I actually wanted the Grizzlies to get him when he was in the draft. Of course, we didn't get him, so that's beside the point. But Franz Wagner, I expect a big year from him and from the Orlando Magic. At number 8, this is where I got another FIBA player. I got Brandon Ingram here. I'm not sure what Brandon Ingram is within New Orleans offense. You still got Zion, you got Ingram. I feel like they both never get to play in the games with each other because one or the other is always hurt. It's always something with them. So I love Brandon Ingram when he came out of Duke for the Lakers. I love that he was a two-way player. He occasionally played point guard for the Lakers, but now with the Pelicans, he's more of a scorer. And we saw him score a little bit more for FIBA, the Team USA yesterday or the other day, whatever day it was. They on the other side of the country. But Brandon Ingram, I'm kind of unsure, man. I feel like in order for both the Pelicans and for Brandon Ingram to thrive, they have to have a divorce and let him go somewhere else. Let him go to New York. Let him go to another team where he can just be allowed to be who he is, a scorer, a two-way player. So I got him at number 8. At number 7, this is where I have DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is the best mid-range scorer in the game. He's clutch in the fourth quarter. It's just unfortunate he's with the Bulls. The Bulls are not a good organization at all. They haven't been a good organization in a very long time. You have redundancy with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. That's not a match that I want to see anymore. I would love to see DeMar DeRozan on a veteran-laden team where he has the opportunity to actually get to win an NBA championship, kind of like Kyle Lowry when they added Kawhi Leonard and removed DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan still can get buckets, y'all. So he has value somewhere. I'm just tired of seeing him with the Bulls or the Bulls not putting efficient enough talent around him so that he can thrive and be the best version of himself for DeMar DeRozan. So that's where I had DeMar DeRozan. And at 6, this is where I have Paul George. He could and should be higher, but I feel like I don't know what I'm going to get with Paul George or his teammate Kawhi Leonard or the Clippers in general. I feel like every year when they play, they're going to win games. But then at some point, Kawhi Leonard, load management. Paul George doesn't manage his load, pause. But I feel like he gets legitimately hurt. Why y'all laughing? I said pause. I feel like Paul George gets legitimately hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, he, unlike Kawhi, if Paul George can play, he gonna play. We saw that 2 years ago when they were in the play-in. Like, if he can play, he gonna play. But if he can't play, he's not playing. But I feel like he's up there in age. He would have more value on a team where there's like a mixture of young talent that's prepared to win. The Clippers, we don't know what they are. We've said on this podcast last year, the Clippers are a great team when they are healthy, but they never are healthy. And so I'm not putting Paul George anywhere above 6. So, again, my 10 through 6, Scotty Barnes, Franz Wagner, Brandon Ingram, DeMar DeRozan, Paul George.
All right. So my honorable mentions, it's a necessary evil, Candy. It's a necessary evil this morning because I'm gonna say some stuff that people ain't gonna like today, and I'm okay with that. My first honorable mention, because I do have 2. Thank you so much, Savage, for saying that we got to change this next year. Because to me, Paul George is a shooting guard and would have been listed last week and probably my top 5 shooting guards, to be honest, of the players. And the reason why I say that is because, like, I looked at the lineups, like they would start Russell Westbrook, Paul George played the 2, Kawhi played the 3, Batum was at the 4, and Zubac was at the 5. So I have to put him as an honorable mention because I can't put him in this list of small forwards, and that's me. And so I totally respect where you have him, and Tuga as well. If you put him in your small forward list, that's perfectly fine. I respect it. I'm just saying, for me, I should have dumbed it down and put him in there last week. But a real small forward honorable mention is actually going to be Mr. Empty Calories himself, Jeremy Grant. I think he's going to get a lot of points, rebounds. He's going to get a lot of stuff done. It's not going to count for anything for Portland. He was the best signing that the Portland Trailblazers have had in 30, 40 franchise history, maybe, because no one wants to go sign with Portland. My list, starting at number 10, I had Franz Wagner as well. I was not on the boat with you last year, Savage, when you named him. Looked up his stats, and if you're expecting Orlando to take the jump that they need to take, it has to be with Franz as well. He had 18 this past season. I see him doing at least north of 21, maybe 22, 23 for sure. To put them into more of a contention. Number 9, I got Brandon Ingram. And I have him low, and I almost put him at an honorable mention because he's fallen out with FIBA. And now, if you fall out with FIBA, I also think like something's not right in New Orleans. Something's just not right with him at all. And I agree with your earlier points about him in New Orleans and how they need to just sever ties and go on about their day. And so for me, Brandon Ingram is still a private selection, Kevin Durant, if you ask me. And I think he can make it pretty well on another team, just not with New Orleans, not this year. But who knows? At number 8, I have Scotty Barnes. I think Scotty Barnes went through a sophomore slump. I think there was, after a great rookie campaign, I think he had a lot on his shoulders to do. And let's just be honest, he just didn't accomplish what was put on him. And there's a lot going on in Toronto. Is OG going to still be there next year? Is it Scotty's team? Is it OG's team? Is it both of their teams? And then what happens from there? And so I think Scotty Barnes has a resurgence. I really hope so. And I really want to, I kind of like missed his smile, so to speak. I feel like he lost that his sophomore season. He just wasn't looking like he was having fun. And we all, sophomore slumps, albums, right? Sophomore albums that don't do well. He just had a sophomore slump for me. And I think he'll be back next season. At number 7, I got Michael Porter Jr. Just coming off a championship season in which that game against the Heat, when he just tore our butts up out of nowhere, came down and hit that 3. I think his readiness is there now. He's ready to, I think, take that next step. And I'm putting him up there. Jamal Murray is going to be helpful. Joker's going to be helpful. I think this Nuggets team has definitely a chance to, I'm not going to say repeat, but at least contend again for a championship. And that'll be because of Michael Porter Jr. And I think Michael Porter Jr. is going to go north of 20 as well this upcoming season. And number 6, I have DeMar DeRozan. We've talked about this Bulls team too much. They got to go. It's crazy. All these teams in red just got to keep getting rid of their players. But DeMar DeRozan is still one of the best mid-range players that we know, and can do well. Now, does he stay there? Did they get rid of Zach LaVine and give him the keys? Who knows? But you can't dismiss what that man can do with the ball inside the paint. He's pretty much money from inside of there, and always there to drop the free throws if necessary. So again, I had Jeremy Grant, Paul George, and then we got Franz, Brandon, Scotty, Michael Porter, and DeMar.
Hey, not too much on my guy Grant, bro. Like you saying all that and do all these sounds. Like people need to come on, chill, bro. Chill. He gonna get his points. He gonna get his buckets, and they still gonna be back in the lottery. It's okay. There's a lot of teams that do that, just like the Nets. But so honorable mention. I love literally everything you just said about Michael Porter Jr. My thing is that even though he's had a very, very young career, 5 years in, he's never had consecutive good years. What I mean by that is 2019, he averaged 9 a game. The next year, 19. 2021, 10 points a game. Last year, 17. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a significant dip off, whether that's injury, whether there's other things. I think Michael Porter Jr. can be a 20 points a game scorer in the league. It's just a matter of me seeing it and him being healthy. And this is, like I said, coming to this year, this is that step back year that statistically showing it's bound to happen. I do not want it to happen, of course, but just saying how the numbers are, and that's why he's my honorable mention. Of course, he'll crack that. He can definitely crack that top 7 next year. Another player that's probably not on our list, but I just wanted to shout out to him is Keldon Johnson from the Spurs. Averaged 22 points a game. Just wanted to make sure we mention him in any form of fashion. Do I expect the same? I expect him to be around 20 points a game this season. May step back just a little bit, but again, the Spurs need scores, so who else gonna score? And then the Cam Johnson, just a salute to Cam Johnson, one of fan favorite. Literally, if it was Devin Booker, then Cam Johnson out here in Phoenix. So just wanted to salute him. So to start my list. 10, I do got Franz Wagner for everything you just said. Everything both of y'all said. I do expect the Magic to take another step forward. I do expect his numbers to stay about the same. His rookie year, he came in with 15 a game. Last year was 18. I can see about 18, 19, the same as well. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. That's good enough for top 10 for me, especially on the Magic team. That Savage said is supposed to take a significant step. Do I believe it? Number 9. I got my guy Wiggs, man. I got my guy Andrew Wiggins. No Jordan Poole. So last year he was averaging 17.5 a steal and a block a game. No Jordan Poole, so I expect him to be around that 18, 19 mark as well when he was putting up all-star level numbers, even though those numbers were honestly about the same as last year. So if he can increase that to, like 18, 19, even if it's 2-3 points a game, that'll get him right back here, and it can be arguable for him to be higher than 9 next year. Number 8, I got my guy DeMar, put him in a Grizzlies uniform, DeRozan. 24.5 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, 5 assists is the underrated part of feature of his game. 5 assists as a small forward, as one of the best closer, if not, I say top 3, top 4 closers as far as small forwards go, that you need to win. Of course, Chicago I don't expect them to do much next year, but we got to get DeMar DeRozan out of there, like you said, Savage. He's 34 years old. If you want to ring, right, 34 years old. If you want a chance to win a ring, now should be the time. Should be like, all right, it's time to get out of Chicago instead of doing this whole no pun intended, but last dance that they doing with the current roster that they got now. So I don't even want to call it the last dance. That's disrespectful. We're gonna just call it the last run. The last shimmy or something. Number 7, good points all about Paul George. He definitely should be a shooting guard. I don't know why they just got him as a forward. They can even classify whether he's a small forward or power forward, which kind of made it confusing for me. So we're gonna go ahead and put him on this list. 24 points a game. The thing with Paul George, the thing about all the Clippers really, but specifically Paul George, he ain't played 60 games since 2018, 2019, and that was the last season he was with the OKC Thunder with. So of course, Paul George can be a top 5 small forward. He just need to play. Show us you still PG-13. Your podcast, one of the dopest podcasts. People listening, people loving it. But it's like, what you gonna do on the court, man? I know you're getting life ready for off the court, but you still on the court right now, my guy. And you can still be a top 5 small forward if you put your mind to it and your body work out to it. But it is what it is. And number 6, speaking of players that actually play, this is where I got Mikal Bridges. Averaged 17 points with the Nets, but turned that all the way up 26 points with the Nets. I'm sorry, 26 points with the Nets, 17 with the Suns. So that trade literally kind of rebranded his career. Do I expect to see 26 points a game from next season? Nah, but not too much of a step back anyway, because again, the Nets do need scores. Mikal Bridges is called an Iron Man for a reason, because he's gonna play if he can. It don't matter. He's gonna play and give the effort that's needed to be, and he's definitely easily one of the best two-way small forwards that we have in this game. So definitely wanted to shout him out. So again, honorable mention: Keldon Johnson, Mike Porter, and Cam Johnson. 10, Franz Wagner. 9, Andrew Wiggins. 8, DeMar DeRozan. 7, PG-13, and 6, Mikal Bridges.
Real quick, Tyler made a comment that I was kind of opened my eyes a little bit. He says Scotty Barnes got some Ben Simmons in him. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Don't you disrespect Scotty Barnes.
I don't know if it's good or bad.
Tyler, no sir. No.
Hey, Tyler, you funny because we actually talked about Ben Simmons in our group, man. Since you brought him up,
I'm not playing.
You cannot disrespect Scotty Barnes, who will at least be an 80+ in 2K. And then you got bench 10 Simmons.
Wow, bro. Bench
68. Wow. Don't you ever put them in the same conversation until further notice. And I know Savage gonna put them in a bunch of conversations together, but they don't deserve to be in the same conversation.
I gotta have a conversation about running 2K, putting them nigga at
no, he right. That's what the times he right.
At 68 too. Come on, man.
He ain't played in 3 years, 4 years. How long he ain't played since Obama was a president. I mean, I'm sorry.
68. Like, you start off with a 60 in my career. You tell me Ben Simmons is no better than me putting up 10 attribute points?
Ben Simmons.
Oh my God.
Ben Simmons.
God.
He says on the
right.
And I used to love this. It's slick. I would say it's hurt me to say this, but it's not, man. They call this man bench 10, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds all right.
Anyway, man. I really don't have any complaints about y'all's list, man, because I'm okay with Mikal being at 6. I got him higher, obviously, but
of course,
that to me is like that's like a wait and see position. Like, he can tip over in one way or the other, depending on him having a full slate with the Nets next year. He did come into the Nets more than halfway through the season, and I ain't gonna lie, they didn't win as many games. They had a nice cushion provided by KD and Kyrie and them.
Thank you, Kevin Durant.
But he still put up buckets, and he went from being literally a role player for the Phoenix Suns to being the main guy in Brooklyn, and he showed improved. Like, you got to respect it. So I'm not mad at him at being at 6. I'm not mad at that. I also, Wiggins was in my honorable mention. I'm kind of like, I don't know if he's still that guy anymore. I mean, not saying that he's like trash. Like, he's obviously a good player. But I don't know if he'll be top 10 worthy on that particular Warriors team. But I can respect him being at 9. 9, I'm okay with. I don't see that bottom half. I'm cool. If you got any more comments about the list halfway through?
No, I'll wait till we all get done because
cool.
There's clearly a name that's definitely not gonna come up. So this is gonna be fun.
Okay. So I'll get to my 5 through 1. Number 5 is where I got Mikal Bridges. So one spot ahead where Took got him. Him being at 5 is speaking highly of him for me. And he has wiggle room to leapfrog the next guy because, like you mentioned, Took, he's an Iron Man. He gonna play. You have to question whether Mikal Bridges is gonna play. I think didn't he play like 83 games in the season 1 year? When was it last year he got traded and played 83 games? He
last year,
like one more. Okay, yeah.
Last year, 83 last year.
Yep, that hasn't been done since Jalen Rose, who did it like with Chicago, like
83.
But 83 games in the season, that's one more than the actual season. You know what I'm saying? So for him to do that is like speaks volumes for who he is. I want to see the Nets collectively play better with, like you said, Cam Johnson, with hopefully Ben Simmons, with Nick Claxton. So hopefully they can figure it out going into next year. Number 4, this is where I got Kawhi Leonard, and I feel like I wanted to swap Mikal and Kawhi because Kawhi, you mentioned Paul George not playing 60 games. Kawhi ain't played 60 since Toronto. And Kawhi, we don't know if he's hurt or not. He just chooses not to play. There was one game last year where the man played the first half, was killing, and then said, I'm good. I'm not playing in the second half. Where they do that at? So Kawhi Leonard, when he plays, obviously he can be number 1 when he plays, honestly, but he doesn't play as much. So I don't want to question his desire to play ball or his like physical capabilities, but I have to be like, are you going to play 60 games? Are you going to play more than that percentage? He kind of has to if you want to get your money and be on all NBA teams. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard, the Clippers in general are like a huge question mark. So him being at 4 is, I think, good enough in my opinion. So that's where I got Kawhi Leonard. At number 3, this is where I have Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler literally is Kawhi Leonard, but just plays. And so I have to put Jimmy at this position because I feel like when he plays and he's right, even when he had a bum ankle, he still finds a way to impact the game in the playoffs. And for him to literally carry the Miami Heat all the way to the NBA Finals as an 8 seed coming from the freaking play-in, I'm not going to disrespect Jimmy Buckets at all. He's a top 3 small forward in the league, in my opinion. So that's where I got Jimmy Butler. He has to be above Kawhi Leonard for me, based on the reason why I got Kawhi Leonard at 4. At number 2, this might be controversial. I got LeBron at 2. I got LeBron at 2 because I feel like it's father time, man. I said it last year on a TikTok that had some people pushing back on me, but I just feel like the person that won is a better overall player on a better overall team than LeBron James right now. LeBron James can arguably be the GOAT. We understand that. But we saw moments in the playoffs last year where freaking Austin Reeves was carrying the team. Now, granted, when LeBron is provoked, Dylan Brooks, we saw LeBron do what was it, 40 and 20 something he had in the playoff? I can't remember, 20 rebounds, 20 points, whatever he had. But consistently, we have not seen that. LeBron was hurt last year. And so I have to factor that in to my ranking. So that's why I have Tatum at number 1. Tatum averaged 31 points a game, is way better on defense than when he came in the league. He rebounds. He's a focal point of the offense. There have been times where I've gotten on Tatum as a player because I expect more of him, and I expect them to perform even better this year. Jaylen Brown is happy. He got his money. Tatum going to get his money at some point down the road, and I expect him to be the best small forward in the league going forward. So to recap, I got Mikal Bridges at 5. I got Kawhi Leonard at 4. Jimmy Butler at 3. LeBron at 2. Don't kill me, y'all. And number 1, Jason Tatum.
All right. Take the reins at this point. I'm sold on Mikal Bridges at 5 as well, gentlemen. What he did for Brooklyn was just tremendous. Again, they had a big cushion, but even look at even the playoff games, when they played the Sixers, I think, um, he was still a focal point. He was still the guy, right? And to go from being a role player to the guy, right? That's huge. That's a big step in the middle of the season, and to really accept that role that he did and to carry them the way he did was phenomenal. Now, he's no Superman. He's not like he went and won the series or anything like that. But we don't put enough stock into literally a role player to the best player. Like, that was huge. And so I think this upcoming year with Jacques Vaughn at the helm, and coaching them, I think he'll be even better. But right now, Mikal, number 5. Number 4. Number 4, I got LeBron here. I think last year I had LeBron at number 1. And I was looked at kind of funny. And this year I got LeBron at 4. LeBron doesn't, hear me out, because there's a lot of reasons why the rest of this list looks weird. Okay. LeBron may or may not be playing for a championship. He's definitely playing to be with his son. And so if that means reducing the load that he's doing now, less points, less assists, less everything, so that he has opportunity to play maybe an extra season with his son, then he's going to do that. Because to me, LeBron, and I've grown up with LeBron, like I was his son or something like that. But like literally, his family means a lot to him. And so it's at this point that LeBron needs to start taking a step back even further, letting Anthony Davis be the leader of this team, letting Austin Reeves have the ball more often, letting others win. Now, I'm not saying that LeBron's not going to go off and get 40 every now and then. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is last season meant a lot to him because he had to get that scoring record. He got it. They went to the playoffs, did what they did. But right now, for me, and the reason why my list is the way it is, he is at number 4. Number 3, I think the incentives of the CBA are going to make Kawhi Leonard, who is my number 3, to be playing more often. I think some of his injuries are fake. I think he still wants money, whether or not he's going to come out and say it or not. He is a robot, that Tuca's called him multiple times, and I believe that as well. But like, if this season doesn't work out for the Clippers, then like, how many more seasons are we going to give the Clippers? Because to me, if Kawhi don't turn up this season and Paul George don't turn up this season, the Clippers are done, because no one's going to come and sign with the Clippers anymore. And so to me, and they're going to get rid of Tyronn Lue. That's going to hurt me. Because I think Tyronn Lue does not deserve what he's been going through with both of these guys at the helm. But I'm hoping that the new CBA rules are helping Tyronn Lue more than anything to make sure those players are playing. So I got Kawhi Leonard there. Number 2 is my guy. Jimmy Buckets, man. If he doesn't have that bum ankle, I mean, we do a little bit better. I'm not saying we beat the Nuggets, but we might go at least 6 to 7 games with that. Thanks, Josh Hart. We love you for that. But Jimmy's ability to control the offense and defense at any given time is tremendous. He's led the league in steals multiple times. Well, not being a leader in steals, but had 2 or more steals in multiple seasons, I should say. He's going to give you 24 points a night. He's going to give you the assists. He's going to give you the rebounds. He's going to give you talk about someone that can finish a game. He's a game finisher. I was even looking at highlights from the bubble, like when we beat Giannis and them, and he won on the free throws. Jimmy Buckets is a player, a baller. And I think he is even more inspired this season because of how short the Miami Heat came up this past season. And so I'm going to give Jimmy Buckets number 2. And Jason Tatum is number 1. Jason Tatum is number 1 because he sees money. And he saw what Brown got. And he said, what Brown can do for me? Well, I'm going to show you what Tatum can do for you. And I guarantee you, Tatum is going to take it to the next level this upcoming season. And he will be the best small forward in the league for me. He can do a little bit better on defense, just a tight bit better on defense. I don't need to take too much away, but his ability to score at any given time is just tremendous. It's scary at times too, with that little left, and he fades left and then shoots right-handed. It's so crazy the way he does it. Always from the three-point line, and it always goes in. But his ability to score, his ability to lead the team, and I think the Celtics will be a contender this upcoming season. Brown is one of the reasons, but the main reason will be because of Tatum. So again, my list: 5, Brooklyn Bridges. Number 4, the King. Number 3, the Robot. Number 2, Buckets. And number 1, Tatum. I don't really have a nickname for him, so we'll just call him Tatum.
Boy, y'all don't know me. I did not think I was gonna get annoyed this podcast, but y'all got me. Okay. So let's be real, we have our commandments. And the third commandment is if a player shows you who they are, you gotta believe them, right? So to start off my list, of course, Kawhi Leonard, until further notice, he still shows when he does play the 40 games, 30 games he do play, he's still top 5 Kawhi. To some, he's the best player in the league when he actually does play. And I think that kind of does count to something, you know what I'm saying? Just something. Until I guess really next year, Sheedy, you said that, next year is a make it or break it season for the Clippers. I don't think that necessarily, but I do know the pressure that's on this Clippers team. And at the end of the day, it is LA. People gonna come to LA, just to do their own thing. So, and there's a basketball team in LA. So if Kawhi Leonard and Paul George roll out, cool. You got Steve Ballmer ready to throw money at the next All-Star who's willing to come to the Clippers. Speaking of money, so my number 4, and this is where I got to gripe with y'all about. One of the gripes. My number 4 is Brandon Ingram, and y'all didn't have him in y'all top 5. Brandon Ingram is in my top 5, top 4 small forward because 1, he was in it for me last year. For 2, he had his best statistics season last year. He had career highs in points per game, free throw percentage, field goal percentage, assists, and he shot 39% from 3. Where does that say not top 5 small forward? Y'all talk about the Pelicans who may stay stagnant. Cool. Even if they still stay stagnant, these stats right here alone show me he deserves to be in the top 5 conversation. And I think with everything that's going on with the FIBA, I think it's going to motivate him extra more. Y'all got me messed up coming off the bench behind this young dude, Anthony Edwards, who's going to take 26 shots. All right, let me show y'all something. And while he is a poor man's Kevin Durant, cool. Poor man Kevin Durant, who's still averaging 25, 26 a game for a Pelicans team that could make the playoffs next season if their linebacker play. We just gonna be real. So y'all had him at y'all top 10. Y'all had him at y'all top 5. I got Brandon Ingram in my top 5 because again, he's been putting up buckets. We know what he can do. And literally last season, he had his statistically best season of his career. So I can't expect him to take too much of a fall from that, to be honest with you. A fall, if any. So number 3, this kind of where I kind of wanted to switch 2 and 3, but I'm gonna go ahead and just let it rock how it is. Number 3, Jimmy Butler. Of course, this ain't a playoff list for me. This is just a regular season for me, but still, Jimmy Butler. He's so great that I gotta have him in my top 3. I don't care. He can have 19 points a game next season. I know what he's gonna do in the playoffs. I know that the Heat culture is like, all right, y'all just get through the season. We're gonna turn up in the postseason. But I do expect Jimmy to play a little bit better because y'all did lose a lot of depth, Sheedy, over the offseason. So I do expect him to kind of pick up that slack a little bit. And we need, again, Portland to get their head out their asses and go and make that trade so we know for sure, how the Heat gonna look coming to next season. But Jimmy Butler, top 3 small forward. No argument for me on that one. But I didn't want to say a problem because, like I said, this is for me a regular season. But if you're asking me gun to the head, who I'd rather have between Jimmy Butler and Jason Tatum, it'll be Jimmy Butler. But because this is a regular season thing for me as well, Jason Tatum led all small forwards in points and rebounds. He's that guy. Really, he's that guy. We literally seen him, from his rookie season to progress to where now is arguable that you can be the best player in the game. You know what I'm saying? Y'all call him the top small forward, so that's arguable that y'all think he's a top 5, top 6 player in the whole NBA. That's a debate for another day, but still, because y'all got on number 1, we gonna have that debate later. Not this episode, because we already hour in, but later. And for number 1, y'all talk all that mess about LeBron James. I'm the biggest anti-LeBron fan that you can have. But how much did a step back did he take last season? Look at the numbers. He literally averaged the same as the season before outside of points, and he dropped 2 points. Oh, big drop from LeBron James. Come on, y'all. Really? Really? Like, I understand not even being top 2. Cool. I mean, I understand. Whatever. Y'all got me discombobulated, honestly. Because, like, Savage, I know why you ain't got LeBron number 1. You hate him.
What? No.
We've been here for the basketball takes for a minute.
No.
And for him to be number 4, not even top 3 small forwards, y'all saying he gonna save his body for another season? He don't have to. Look at what he's still able to do right now at the ripe age of 45. Like, come on, dog.
That man said right. That man said
come on, bro. Like, it's LeBron James, and I see why people are saying he's the GOAT to me. Is he the GOAT to me? No, hell no. But what he's been able to do for the past 20 years and continuously going, when you see LeBron James coming into the court, you better play your A game. We saw that against the Memphis Grizzlies, didn't it? That's all I got to say. LeBron James, until further notice, until a significant drop off to where I gotta defend him being number 1. Get number 1 spot for the league, dog. Stop the bull.
Now, I wouldn't have had LeBron at 4. That one was like, whoa, okay. But I mean, that's Sheedy's list. I respect Sheedy's list. I think, and I've been critical of Tatum for a very long time, primarily because I know how good he can be. And they've made the finals before. They've gone deep in the playoffs pretty much every year that he's been with them. And I just feel like he's a better player than LeBron right now. I think he's becoming be way more consistent. I think he's going to continue to improve. LeBron's not going to regress to like 15 points a game. He's too smart. He's too talented. He's a athletic specimen. He's not going to go below 20 points a game, because if he chooses and he wants to do it, he can do it. But it's the fact that that's that mental part of the game for LeBron, where he's like, okay, I know I can't do this every single night. I know I can't go get 30 points and 20 rebounds, but Dylan Brooks dumbass talking shit, so let me go ahead and do it to let him know I'm still that nigga. That's why he did it, but he knows that his body is physically incapable of doing that. And so for that reason, that's why I say I take him below Jason Tatum and put Jason Tatum at 1. Now, Brandon Ingram and top 5, absolutely not. No, I don't care how much that man score. I don't care what he do. He is not top 5 for me, because you talk about empty calories right now, at least for right now on the Pelicans, those are empty calories, even though Zion is not consuming empty calories. So Brandon Ingram, top 10, cool. Top 4? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, thank you. She'd over here dying laugh.
Oh, God. Yes. Okay. Before we continue on that one, because there was highlight. No one mentioned Kyle Kuzma, by the way. That's what I was talking about earlier. Because you talk about empty calories. That man might not even get the ball that often in Washington. I knew he wouldn't get named, because once we went through 6 through 10 and I heard the rest of y'all's list, I said, there's no way. Because he's not a top 5 player.
He was an honorable mention for me. I had an honorable mention, but I didn't have him top 10 now.
Yeah. And so I guess I'll speak on me putting LeBron 4th again, and it is what it is. I agree too that he's in Savage. I don't think he's going to regress like 16 points. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying his body, Father Time is the one that's undefeated. Love LeBron. Seen LeBron since high school. But he will need to take just a step back to me. And that's not saying like he's not going to average 20 plus. He probably average 22 points a game. He might give 7 points, 7 assists. Who knows? I don't know. But I think there'll just be a step back just because he wants to be with his son more than not. I will never put LeBron outside the top 5 small forward. That will never be a thing. But I mean, Michael Jordan wasn't a top 5 shooting guard his last years. So I mean, it is what it is. And then with who was the other one? LeBron, Tatum. Oh, you brought in Brandon Ingram in your top 4. And that's what made me chuckle. I a top 5 player. Yeah, okay. A top 5 small forward, Brandon Ingram. Because of his points? Is that why? Is it his contract? Like, I really want to know. Maybe.
I mean, he is second as small forwards with 6 assists a game as well. He is second with 8 points.
They had him run a point for LA at some time, so I can see that. I definitely can see that.
So he's more than a scorer at this point. If you want to talk about an evolution of a player,
but wouldn't that mean then that he should be starting over Mikal Bridges in FIBA then?
You can't necessarily say that because with FIBA, it's style. It's not coach. Okay. It's coaching. Yeah, it is coaching. It's coaching style. You know, it's coaching style. Like, you can't have your 5 best scorers starting.
Right.
There's no chemistry in that. That's why I said you need to have Tyrese and Bobby Portis. They don't need the ball offensively. I mean, Tyrese to get assist, of course, but Bobby don't need the ball. So, but the fact that B.I. is telling y'all like they ain't feeling any kind of way, he feeling himself as he should be honest with you. If there was anybody else on their team complaining about not getting the ball, I'd be like, let's think about it. But it's Brandon Ingram. Like, he had his best year, and then he coming to this Team USA game and only getting the ball 4 or 5 times a game. I take issue with it too if I'm him.
So basically, you saying he gonna be pissed when he come back into the league?
Yes, he gonna be in the. Did y'all not see him last season with the afro and everything? He went crazy last season. He's gonna come back more of a vengeance. Again, y'all let this young nigga Anthony Edwards start over me and shoots 26 shots in a game.
I get nothing.
All right, if I'm Brandon Ingram, I'm looking at that as like, I bet.
I'm invested in New Orleans and Minnesota now. I'm invested in that game.
Hey, you gotta think, bro. Outside of the linebacker not playing, the Pelicans literally missed the playoffs by 2 games last season.
They did.
Yeah. Regardless of everything that they are poverty friend, we talk all the mess, whatever. The numbers don't lie. They were 2 games out of the playoffs next season. But y'all coming back on a vengeance. I get it. And shout out to my guy on the No Bluffing podcast said B.I. never be a true superstar. He don't need to be. Still, the numbers don't lie, and I don't think they empty calories because they still fighting for playoff position in a crazy tough ass Western Conference.
If I'm BI, I'm demanding a trade. Like because Zion's not going to play. The Pelicans are just inept in terms of like roster construction. You got McCollum running point. You still got JV, who's been proven not to be a player that you can win with. He's a great player, but you can't win with JV. Like I said,
tell Lithuania that. Tell Lithuania that.
That's Lithuania. This ain't New Orleans. And then on top of that, I feel like, and we can get to the honorable mention. I mentioned Herb Jones honorable mention, man. Like, Herb Jones is a good player, man. I don't know what they got Trey Murphy as. Trey Murphy is a good player.
Come on,
so man. I'm like,
them niggas is twins, bro. Them niggas is twins. Long as hell.
I'm investing in those 2 players if I'm New Orleans, and I would trade BI and get something back for that. That's what I would do. That's best for both parties. But I just can't see Brandon Ingram being a top 5 small forward in New Orleans. Even Aiden
he laughing at your take. He laughing at your take.
No. Right. The kids laughing at y'all.
But yeah, I mean, I love some BI, man. BI, when it comes to scoring, that's like, he is one of the best in the business. In New Orleans, nah. And that's kind of how I construct my rankings more times than not. I think about the situation that they're in. I'm like, Ingram is in New Orleans. Is he a top 5 small forward in New Orleans? Absolutely not. I had Damian Lillard top 5 on my list of point guards because I think he's going to get traded at some point and he's going to show out wherever he goes. That's kind of what I do when I make.
So you don't think the same for BI? If he get traded, he going to show out elsewhere?
I don't know if he's going to get traded or not. I want him to, but I don't know if they're going to trade him or not. I would. I'd trade him to freaking Charlotte or something. Get him out of there. Let the man go home or something. But right now, nah, I can't see it. Has he got paid yet? What's BI's contract?
Let's see.
She
nah,
normally do
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah,
She's
no,
normally my contract guy.
Nah, yeah, he's got like a few more years, I think, because he signed the max thing in like 2020.
Uh-huh.
Let me look.
Yeah, so he signed a 5-year, 158 million contract. Oh my
Oh yeah,
goodness.
2020. Yeah.
Yeah. So 20. So next year he'll be making $34 million a year.
Okay. When is he a free agent?
I will let you know. He'll be a free agent, not next season, but an unrestricted year after next. So
Oh, shoot,
2025. Oh, this is interesting. Oh shit, that's interesting.
Soon then. He might get
Oh,
traded.
he better get his money. He better get his money, bro. No, dog. Stop playing Ingram, dog. Stop playing, but he's gonna get paid.
Because on top of that, that
man.
contract is movable as hell right now under the new CBA. $36 million. That ain't shit for Ingram. I would take Ingram right now. I would, but just like in New Orleans, no, I can't do it because they don't have shit around him where he's like happy about this. So next year, check with me next year on the top 50 list to see where right now. Nah, I can't do it. I can't do it right now. Let me see. Any more things that I had on the honorable mention? I can't get my phone on. Like, God, dog. Somebody mentioned
Bogdanovic. Nobody mentioned him. Yeah, old ass dude scoring 20 points a game on these youngsters.
Joe Ingles looking ass.
Literally, they the same player, in my opinion.
Look, Paul George said Joe Ingles gave him problems. So I mean,
hey,
you never know. That's top 10 small forward. Yeah, I had Kyle Kuzma, Michael Porter Jr., Keegan Murray, Andrew Wiggins, and Herb Jones in my honorable mention. I like both of those young guys from New Orleans, though, man. Herb Jones and Trey Murphy. I like both of them dudes, man. They really could turn it up next year. But I feel like the list, aside from LeBron being at 4 and Ingram being at 4, I'm actually, I don't have no argument with y'all this week. I'm good. I'm okay.
Y'all really a believer in Scotty Barnes cracking the top 10 again?
I'm
yes.
I think as far as Barnes, his physical, like his size, he can be, but his shooting was terrible last year. Shooting was terrible. Overall, I watched one game, I think it was against the Pacers. He just looked like he was just out of sorts, man. Like he just couldn't fit in. But I don't know if that's because he had Fred VanVleet and Pascal and OG kind of being in the way. But I ain't gonna lie, I was discouraged from Scotty Barnes last year. But it could be a sophomore slump. He might turn it back around next year. He has the physical tools to be a top 10 at his position, even a top 10 player if he keeps improving. But what I saw last year was, like I said, it was discouraging.
Yeah, and I just feel the same way. Like I think that he's just had a bad season. But there's a lot of things that were going on in Toronto as well. Again, this kid was 20, 21, 22, maybe if even that. Again, given the keys to the city, so to speak, he just wasn't ready yet. This is still Pascal's team, Fred's team, however you want to say it. So, yes, I believe he deserves to be in the top 10. Now, if he has another bad season this season, then that would be 2 bad seasons out of 3, which means he would have to fall out of my top 10 then after that.
Which means he becomes a role player, and he's not like the guy that can be running the show, which he might just be a role player. Scott Pippen is a nice number 2, but ultimately he was role player, like is as next to Jordan. So that's okay for what I think he was like number 4 in his in the draft when he got picked 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, I mean, if you tell me I'm getting a solid role player that can be a sometimes all-star, I'll take that. I'll take that if I'm in the NBA team. I'll take that.
I had to ask that because y'all talk about empty calories and shit. The Raptors gonna be one of the worst teams in the league next season.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, y'all really top 10, Scotty?
Who'd you have over him?
I didn't have him in my top 10 at all.
Okay, I remember that. Okay, I'm not mad at that either, honestly, because I'm always big on I got to see it to believe it sort of thing, and it sounds like you got to see it to believe it. So I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Not mad at that at all.
Like we've all discussed like our own Eastern Conference teams taking steps up. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So how we expect the Raptors to do the same? Somebody got to fall.
Yeah, because I think Detroit and Orlando will be better than Toronto easily.
Indiana,
Toronto going to be cleaning the house really soon. They got to in order to move forward. They got a new coach, and you got players that want to get paid and want to play more. OG want to get up out of there. Pascal going to get up out of there. It's okay to take a step back, take a couple steps forward down the road. So I ain't mad at that. Not mad at that at all. So
speaking of draft, where do y'all put Brandon Miller? Well, what is he? I know he's a rookie, but what kind of season y'all expecting from him? Of course we can end, but of course, like he's rookie top 2. I again don't believe in him, but I just he's a forward, small forward. Wanted to get y'all opinions. I'm not a believer.
When Brandon Miller got drafted, I never thought, or even before that, even when I was watching him at Alabama, I never thought that he was going to be like a superstar. I always saw him as a solid number 2, number 3 option. He doesn't really do anything special off the dribble. He's not really supremely athletic, like in like a freakish kind of way. He's just a solid, steady player. I can see him having like I can't even say comfortably he'll make an all-star game. I feel like he'll have like a solid like role player type of career. Like I want to like Marvin Williams, who was also picked at number 2 for the Hawks a couple years ago, and he was like not the main guy for North Carolina. They had like Sean May, Rashad Kantz, Raymond Felton, and he was like drafted because he was 6'9" and 230, which is kind of like what Brandon Miller is. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player. It just means that Charlotte is not a great drafting of players. Again, I would have picked Scoot Henderson based on the potential. And I would have, at some point, knowing that I might get like Scoot better than LaMelo, I would trade LaMelo and get something back for that. But Brandon Miller, maybe like a 13, 14 points per game score next year. LaMelo's going to dominate the ball. So I need Brandon Miller to develop a jumper, consistent jumper in the corner on the wing, get rebounds. Shooting and rebound is the most important thing for him, I think, going forward, because he's not going to be that guy on this Charlotte team. Not so long as LaMelo is there now. I don't believe that. So I say a role player is what I would say.
Yeah, and I think that how do I put this? I think we talk about the commandments of LBR. Brandon Miller's going to show you who he is too. When the talent got to where it needed to get for Alabama in the tournament, Brandon Miller wasn't there. He didn't show up. And now you're playing against some better talent night in and night out. And so I don't know how good his game is going to transfer. I think he's going to go through a time where like he's not really himself per se. I feel like he's going to have a few games here or there. He's going to go, a little north of 20, maybe even get a 30-point game. Who knows? But based upon what I saw with their run last season in Alabama, they didn't do that run because Brandon Miller was out there scoring 35, 40 points a game. It wasn't because of that. And so I don't think he'll do that well. He won't make my list next year either.
Cool.
All right, gentlemen, we can wrap it up right there. Again, for those listening, enjoy your Labor Day, enjoy your time off, even though we went to work today. I think today was the first day of Shannon and Stephen A. Smith. So if y'all watched that, shout out to y'all. But if y'all watched us, shout out to y'all as well.
Hey, y'all some real.
Right. So next week, we are doing the top 10 power forwards. Shout out Tyler here in the comments. Yeah, thank you. Next week is the top 10 power forwards. So that means we get to make fun of Kevin Durant not being as good a player as Giannis next week again.
Will he be at number 4 for me?
Will I have
Kevin y'all already know my number 1, so y'all work out. Y'all want to work that bullshit out. Y'all whatever do what needs to be done. Y'all know my number 1. So get ready, get your clothes ready, get your clown mask ready, do whatever you need to do. Because y'all with the shit, y'all better not have Giannis over Kevin Durant, bro.
Will I have Giannis over Kevin Durant? We'll see next
week. Y'all
better
not.
Stay safe. Be blessed. Peace.